I feel called to talk about healing our relationship with shopping and money. So that's what I'm going to talk about if you're interested. Money is a part of our reality on this earth. It's how the majority of us pay for shelter and food and bills and fun things and activities and gas and all of this stuff. It is this tool that you can look at in so many different ways, and a lot of us were taught to look at it as this scarce, finite resource that is hard to come by. We can only get it in a certain way. It's not for spending on fun things, it's only for the necessities, blah blah blah. We've learned a whole lot of stuff about it. And it's up to us individually to decide to heal our relationship with it, because it's not going away. But we can actually have a really good relationship, and we can learn to spend joyously even on things like bills. And if joyously sounds like a little too out there, you could even aim for spending peacefully on bills. It's possible. I've completely shifted and healed a lot of this in myself, so I'm sharing about it. First, if we want to joyously spend money, we need to recognize where we're spending money to self-soothe. And in this cycle of self-soothing, addiction, whatever you want to call it, if you're like buying things to soothe yourself, to make yourself feel better, to avoid maybe something in your life, whatever. I've done it, no judgment. I've done it so much. If you're in the cycle of self-soothing, the way to transform that out of spending to self-soothe into spending out of joy, the transformation takes place through love. Okay? Love is the key to transform this. Why is that? If you're spending to self-soothe, there is something in you that's afraid, that's in pain, that maybe is rejecting itself and mad at yourself for spending and feeling out of control, or all of these different possibilities. One sec, it's a little bit warm in here. If you're spending to self-soothe, the only way to shift back into spending out of joy is with love. And it's with this commitment to this deeper love with yourself, which is healing this relationship with your abundance and money and spending. So it's a whole process. There's so many different aspects to it, but it is really important to bring love to yourself. I have spoken about this so much. I have an entire YouTube video on this. I healed my shopping addiction, where I was shopping and buying things that I didn't completely, totally love, but I was constantly buying things to soothe myself, to now where I'm buying things that I actually really want, and it's fun and it's light, and I don't feel pressure, and I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel like gross afterwards. It feels good. It feels good again. And we can all have that, but we have to bring love into the equation. This is how I did it. You might resonate with this, and you might appreciate this practice, but I started writing love letters to myself. And these love letters, every time I would spend and feel ashamed and upset and scared and all of these things, I started writing a letter to the universe, out to God, higher power, higher self, whatever you want to call it. I would write a letter oh, these are all the things I'm feeling. Being honest, this is what I'm scared of. Help me. I'd be totally honest. I'd write this letter out. And then I would write a second letter back to myself through the eyes of love. If love was speaking to me, if pure unconditional love was speaking to me right now, what would it say? How would it reassure me? How would it view me? And that process of writing those letters to myself helped me start to view myself through the eyes of love. It helped me start to speak to myself with love. So I no longer was feeling ashamed when I was spending. And when you're not feeling ashamed when you're spending, you're not unconsciously spending anymore. There's no need to, because you don't have anything to self-soothe if you're in this like frequency of love and like connection in yourself. And so that is a really important aspect of spending with joy. Another aspect is that what is meant for you will never miss you. There is no pressure. There's all of these all of these tactics that like all of these sales tactics that can make us feel like there's so much pressure. I gotta buy it now, I gotta get it before it's gone, you know, like all of these things. We need to learn that there's no pressure inside of ourselves so that we're not influenced by the outside, and we can just feel safe and connected and secure. This is part of healing our abundance, and know, okay, if that's meant for me, it's gonna wait. And if it's not meant for me, I'm gonna be okay. It's gonna work out. Something even better is gonna come along. That's a huge aspect of abundance, is trusting that something else is gonna come along. There's not just this one thing and that's it. That also ties back to love. If you're restricting your spending out of fear and like shame and what's wrong with me, if you're restricting that in yourself, your part of you is gonna know, we might be restricted again, so I'm gonna get this right now while I'm allowed to. And you are actually the one creating that internal pressure instead of this internal feeling of safety. And so there's once again so much to this to heal. But those are a couple of things on how we can start to spend with joy. Another last one I'll just speak on in this video is every single time we go to spend, even if it's something that is completely frivolous, like completely unnecessary, like we don't need all these crystals. Like I've got crystals in my bag right now. I don't need like more clothes. I don't need them. Like I will not perish without them. It's not an absolute necessity, but they are a joy. So every time I spend something on my joy, I take a moment to recognize that my joy is important as well. And that helps me to consciously put that money out there, spend it on what I want to spend it on. And then I'm no longer spending it on like here and there. It actually helps me spend less. Like, yes, I'm buying crystals still and stuff that I love, like jewelry, whatever. But I'm not spending as much on like things that I don't really love that I'm just gonna get rid of, or I'm not really gonna connect to. They're just gonna like hide away somewhere and not get used. I'm consciously spending more because what was this point that I was making? Because I'm doing it out of joy, and I'm letting myself do it out of joy, and I'm taking a moment to acknowledge like I deserve to do this out of joy. And the more that we like keep healing all of these different aspects of our spending, we get to spend with joy and just have it be a joyful experience, because money is not going away. It's here to be used on our necessities, our bills, yes, and on our joy. And there's nothing to fear. And it's up to each one of us to find that truth for ourselves. We find it through love. We find it through consciously making that decision each time that we spend. I'm going to enjoy this. I deserve it. I love myself. Woohoo. Okay, there's more that I can share. Hope that helped anyone. All right, bye.